All right, all right. Of course, I'm going to start off with saying Shalom. We got to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Christ. And I'm just here for another live stream. It's been a while since since I went live. For again many different reasons. Again, I do what I can with the time available to me. And I do want to say, excuse the background noise. It's actually pretty windy out here today. Of course, any other day it wouldn't be, but except the one day when I come out to, sit out here, it is for whatever reason, right? I just find that ironic. Which I won't be in this whole area for long, so hopefully that noise, isn't there for too long. But I just wanted to go live. A couple of different subjects came to mind. One example I'll bring up just off the start is anybody remember the YouTube channel by the name of Q Brother? But I have, ranted about those dudes a handful of times, right? Talk shit about them. But recently, they actually let me on the panel. You know how they advertise, right? They're like the black community, right? Some of the most sophisticated and intelligent people there. But anyway, so I went on there. I was probably on there like an hour and 30 minutes. And we were talking about a whole range of topics, but it was revolving around the topic of the flat earth, right? So we were going back and forth on it. We brought up a lot of different aspects to look at it. Say, for instance, I was asking the one dude, forget the cat's name, we'll just call him Ryan just to keep it simple. So I was talking to Ryan, and this dude, he wasn't saying anything that you wouldn't expect a Glober to say, right? Like, everything he was saying was what he was already indoctrinated to say from the school system, right? Like, say, for instance, they'll tell you, well, the core of the earth is made up of such and such. Then I bring up the factor weight. But how can anybody know from any model of the earth, whether it's flat earth, globe earth, concave earth, inside joke, but any model of the earth, how can anybody know what's actually in the center if nobody's ever been down there? And I brought up the fact that the deepest man-made hole in the world was it's called the Kola super deep borehole that was made by the Soviet Union back in the 80s. Again, anybody can do the research on this, right? All you got to do is go to Wikipedia. You can find the information on YouTube and fact check this, right? So the point of the matter is I was arguing with him about it. It's like, how can you say you're so sure that the core of the earth is as they depict in the school textbooks if nobody's ever been there, right? And humans have not went further down than 8 miles, right? The deepest man-made hole in the world is 8 miles down, or really actually just shy of 8 miles. So we'll just, to be polite, we'll just round it up to 8 miles. Right, so the deepest hole in the world is 8 miles down. So how the hell does anybody know what the core of the earth looks like? And the answer is, well, you don't know. It's just, that's what you were indoctrinated into believing. So that's this dude. Shit, what did I call him? What did I call this guy? Frank or something? Whatever I called that dude, keep his name simple. He's just saying that because that's what he was indoctrinated into believing, right? Or another one, I asked him, about the photos of Earth, and he was telling me, well, they are real. It's just, they have to like merge some of the images together, but they're actually real. Then I was asking him, oh wait, what about if you're claiming that the satellites, which are, I would imagine, are closer to the Earth than the ISS supposedly is, right? So if they have to do all of this fishy work with the photos from the satellites, well, why is it then that we supposedly have a 24/7 live feed from the outside of the ISS live on YouTube at this very moment, right? So how is it that that's able to stream live 24/7 without any interruptions or edited parts in? How is that allowed to happen? But yet the satellites, their pictures have to all be edited and before a public presentation. There's something fishy with that. And if he can't realize that, I honestly don't know what to say. Let's hit the comments real quick. Hey, how you doing, Day Freak? Long time no see, man. How deep's the hole? 8 miles. Well, actually, if you look it up, to be accurate to it, I believe it's 7.8. So it's just shy of 8 miles. But for argument's sake, let's just round it up to 8 miles to keep it simple, right? Yeah, D Freak said, yeah, got a long ways to go. Yeah. Shit, I believe the cat even agreed that like, say for instance, I have watched scientific videos on YouTube where they talk about like the core of the earth and the borehole, and they said that even going by the deepest hole dug, right, the borehole, they said if we were to compare the earth to an apple just to show the how far it made it into the earth, right, it didn't even make it halfway through the very skin of the apple, right? And again, this is according to the scientists who reviewed all this information and put that on YouTube, right? They said we were to shrink the earth down to the size of an apple, the borehole, the deepest man has ever went, would not even make it through the very skin of the apple. That's how shallow they've made it into the digging into the earth, right? Now, one thing I could agree with him on is, as you descend into the earth, it gets high as you dig down, right? Like the story with the Soviet Union's hole they were digging is the machinery couldn't work at certain levels of elevation, right? So they had to, after a certain amount of time, they had to quit the experiment due to the fact that the drill bits couldn't operate at that level into the earth, right? It was too hot for, I believe they said it was like 300 degrees or something like that, right? It got hotter quicker than they imagined as they dug down, right? And they also claim that they found, they were wrong every step of the way, right? They said they weren't going to hit any more water, then they hit more water. They, it wasn't going to be as hot as they anticipated. Then, of course, it's hotter than they thought it'd be, right? Just as two examples, right? So they were wrong every step of the way as they drilled this deepest hole. So wait a second. So why the hell will we believe them when they tell us what is in the core of the earth? Like they know, but they have never been there. Nobody's ever been there, right? You can't get there. And then this dumbass went on to talk about, oh, well, we know the core of the sun, right? Like we have, this dumbass literally said that, we on Earth can make things hotter than the core of the sun, like with the what's this thing, the CERN, right? The Hadron Collider, right? And he was like, oh, we can make things hotter than the core of the sun on Earth. I was like, what the hell? First of all, dummy, how the hell do you know what the core of the sun is? Any probe that they supposedly send to the sun, it will immediately get burned. You can't get close enough to it. So how the hell do we know what is in the center? Like, seriously, think about that. How the hell do we know? Then I joked with him. I was like, hey, man, sounds like you're talking about a whole bunch of science fiction to me. And he was. And then this dummy went on to talk about, well, the CERN, right? Here's what this dummy said, right? Because we went on to talk about the Big Bang and stuff like that, right? Because he was talking about, gods, that's stupid and whatnot. So we're talking about the Big Bang for a few minutes. And he was saying, well, no, there's no scientific experiments going on to try to recreate, what happened with the Big Bang or any of that, right? There's no scientists that are trying to recreate the beginning, so-called beginning, with the Big Bang. And it's like, this dummy didn't even realize that the very experiment he mentioned like 20 minutes beforehand, being the CERN Hadron Collider, he didn't even know that whole experiment was so scientists can try to, smash two particles together so they can try to visualize what might have happened at the creation of everything at the Big Bang. That's literally the entire story behind the Hadron Collider at CERN, is so they can try to recreate the Big Bang so they can have a better scientific understanding about what could have occurred. Again, this is not hidden. I mean, literally, there's documentaries on YouTube where they explain this, literally from the scientists at CERN. And then I brought up, well, what about the fact that they have a Shiva statue outside of the CERN headquarters? So, like, well, what about that? Right? Talking about gods and mysticism, or paranormal things, right? Because that's what we talked about as well. And I was like, well, what about the fact they have a Shiva statue and somebody recorded a ritual taking place outside of it? Again, you can look this up. It's on YouTube, right? Somebody snuck in and they call a ritual happen outside by the Shiva statue outside of the CERN headquarters. So there's nothing fishy about this going on. And then Dummy was like, hey, well, it doesn't mean it was Shiva. Right. And then the dumbass was like, well, hey, man, I don't know. You can, contact NASA and ask them, about why they have that outside the facility. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, wait a second. This dummy doesn't even know that NASA and CERN are two separate corporations. First of all, this dummy wouldn't even know what country CERN is located in. Like seriously, I'd be willing to bet $1,000. I'd be willing to put $1,000 on the line that if I was to ask that guy, what do we call that dude? David or something? Forget what I called the cat, but whatever his name is, right? If we were to ask him what country is CERN located in, I guarantee $1,000 that he would not know. He doesn't know. Might know where NASA's at, but he doesn't know. No shot that he knows where CERN is. And by the way, for those that didn't know, CERN is located in Switzerland. Hell, I believe that's actually I believe Supercell, which that's like a game developer. I play some of their games. I believe they're located in Switzerland as well. But that's a side note. But yeah, the CERN headquarters, that's located in Switzerland. Right. But again, this dummy wouldn't even know that. This dumbass thought that NASA and CERN were like the same corporation. It's like, dude, you do know it. They're not even in the same country, right? Oh, and you know what the main kicker is this? Because somebody would be like, well, hey, man, put us the link out. Let us watch the conversation. And I wish I could do that. But here's what happened. Cuba ended up deleting the conversation. But like they had a 15-hour stream that I went on. They went on in like the last 3 hours. And then they deleted the last couple hours. So it was only like 12 hours long, but it was originally about 15 and a half hours at the end when it was over, right? So they deleted the conversation. Let me say it again. They deleted the conversation. So here it is, they're sitting there, trying to challenge flat earther, try to get, as they call them, a flurf, on to have a dialogue about the topics. And then here it is when they get one to come on and have a chat, then they delete the conversation. Which really the reason they deleted it is because they were getting daggered. Like, I mean, again, no disrespect, but I mean, that panel of globe heads, they were they were getting I'm not want to use the wrong word here, but they were getting messed with, man. Those dudes were getting effed up in a metaphorical sense. Who you referring to? Who you referring to? System of control. I'm not sure who you're referring to there. Who's trying to go to Manila? Hey, how you doing, Joe? I don't think I'm gonna open the mics up today, man. I only have limited time up here. But if anybody got any question in the comments or whatever, I'm willing to address that. Ironically enough, sometimes in my area, where I'm at right now, there's sometimes Jehovah Witnesses around here, right? Whenever I see somebody out there, teaching, whether it be, Muslim group, Christian group, Jehovah Witnesses, hell, atheist, right? I'd always stop for a conversation, right? Sometimes, what I find funny? A lot of times when you stop and, try to talk to people about these things, they don't want to have the conversation. Like, what I find weird? Like, how is it when Jehovah Witnesses are out there, like, set up on, like, the street corners or whatnot? But then if I was to stop and, like, ask them, a couple of questions, they'll be like, oh, go to, what is this thing? Watchtower.com or something like that. And, we'll answer your questions from watchtower.com. It's like, well, wait, but aren't you guys out here to talk to people? It's like, why else would you be wasting your time, standing out here with these pamphlets and flyers and all this shit if you're not willing to talk to people and have a conversation? Like, isn't that the whole reason why you guys are out here in the first place, is so that you can talk to people? Hell, apparently not. Oh my God. Yeah, but that's what happened with the whole conversation there. I went on for like an hour and 30 minutes, and of course, what do you know? They end up taking down the conversation. Again, I don't know the reason why, but they ended up taking down the conversation, right? So the point of the matter is that, a lot of these dudes, they'll sit here and, say they wanted to chat with these people of these other beliefs, right? But then when you go on, you quickly find out, yeah, there's some type of like scheme that they're running, right? That, they're not going to be honest with it. It's some type of like joke to run. Oh, like say for instance, oh man, what's this guy's name? Damn, I can't think of it. It might be Deconverted Man, which he used to be like a Christian or something, but now he's like an atheist. I went on with that dude. I went on with that guy maybe 9 months ago. I called into one of his shows, right? And this guy is always on there, bashing creationists and whatnot. So I thought it'd be funny, to give this guy a run for his money, on like topics such as, like the scientific background or archaeological background from like the Old Testament and stuff like that. And they criticize the Old Testament and say that, like, there's like no evidence or, proof that any of those things happen. But then, I can go on there and I can show them all of these, factual informations that, we can literally, bear for me a second, that we can literally, go and validate for ourselves to prove that they're real. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, when confronted with that, they don't want to engage in that conversation. A lot of people feel comfortable with the misinformation that they might believe in. And that's a sad thing, of course, but it's it's how it usually is. Bear with me. A lot of gravel in this area. Oh, um, excuse the background noise. I can't do nothing about that right now. I'll try to get down here so I can get away from. Once I get up the road, I shouldn't be able to pick up the noise. Yeah, it's only been 20 minutes. I feel like I've been feel like I've been sitting out here a damn hour, man. I'm walking by a church right now. I'm not going to show the. I'm not going to show it, but look real quick. Yeah, that seems about right. Of course, you can't have. It seems like you can't have a church today without that rainbow agenda being promoted. You know what I'm saying? Like people pretend when you read in the Bible about how you're supposed to. They claim you're supposed to love everybody. That's not in the Bible. Like, what book, chapter, verse? Like, where does the Bible teach you're supposed to love everybody? That's not in the Bible. A lot of people are just comfortable with repeating the lies that they were indoctrinated in, and as GMS calls plantation Christianity, right? Just a regular, everyday Christianity out here. You quickly find out, man, these churches, they don't know what the hell is going on. First of all, they're under a 501c3, so first and foremost, even if they wanted to, they couldn't speak the truth because they're under a charter where they have to be politically correct in order to get certain prizes from the government, right? Like you don't have to pay tax, but in return they have to go along with the policies that are set up, right? Like I'll give a good example of it. Like they can't talk about they can't talk bad about these rainbow people out here because that would go against the 501c3, right? Again, we're all taught you have to love and support those people, and again, it sounds very weird, but we're in a day and time now where if you're a Christian and you don't show support for those type of people, then you're considered to be a bad person, right? You're not considered to be a real Christian. So, well, shit, do you think that back when Christ was walking the earth, that people had that mindset? It's like, hell no, they didn't have that mindset. That you had to, accept all this nonsense, and bullshit. And here's another thing, right? Because, people out here like, oh, well, Jesus said obey the government. That's not true. First of all, Christ disrespected Pilate, right? When you read the Gospels, Pilate was talking to Christ, and Christ completely disrespected him, right? He didn't even answer his question when he was talking to him. That's a form of disrespect. Like, say, for instance, right? If you're a parent to a child, if you're talking to your child and they don't answer you, that's considered disrespectful, right? So same thing with how Christ was talking to Pilate, and he totally didn't answer him, right? Like he heard him, he was standing right there, and he totally didn't answer him. That's disrespect right there. That's called disrespect. So again, even Christ disrespected the quote unquote, ruling authorities. So once again, a lot of people have no right to try to, come out here and try to teach the Bible, man. A lot of these people got no right. Bear with me a second. Man. I wish it was winter time out here. It's only 11 a.m. Feels like it's 100 degrees out. Hell, I remember, what was it, last year? Something like that, over in like the UK. There were literally days over there when the weather was so hot, you literally had people dropping over dead, outside just taking a walk or something, due to the extreme, levels of heat. Yeah, I believe they were, what was it, like over 100, I believe it was like 110 degrees, 115, something like that. Um, might be loud for a minute here. All dressed in a second. Hold on. Just gotta grab a drink real quick. Okay. All right, that should be good enough. There's everything going on out here. You got somebody cutting wood over there. You got two people mowing the lawn over there. Got somebody on the leaf blower. Hey, how you doing, Manny? Hope you're doing well, man. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I'm going to a spot that should be a little more quiet, but it's gonna take me like 2 minutes to get there. But yeah, Manny, hope you're doing well. It's been definitely been a while, man. Let's get on the sidewalk real quick. I believe it's been a week since I did a stream last. We're almost there. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go on mute for like 2 minutes. All right, my apology for that. Oh, it's funny because any other day there wouldn't be much going on. But of course, the one day I go outside to do a live stream, there's a bunch of shit going on. Hey, but that's Satan for you, man. Could go down by a river over here. Should be a little better over there. Shit, that's a whole other thing I can rant on. We have all these rivers over where I'm at, but in order to fish in these rivers, you have to have a certain license. So again, people can't see how messed up this system is, man, then you're just delusional. It's so bad now where you're not even allowed to go fishing without having one of their licenses. It's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame. But this is the bullshit that's going on. Now, I know when I used to live in Florida, at least I know down there you didn't have to get any type of like permit or license or whatever in order to go fishing, man. Shit, and that was 5 years ago, so it might have even changed by now. I don't know. It's in Florida back in like 2019, right? So say about 5 years, right? So they could have changed it by now. Wouldn't surprise me. Another thing to rant about, all these dumbass out here, but like dummies, I've seen like at Walmart, I go to these stores, got dumbass out here wearing T-shirts. Like one of them I saw, dude was like, "Oh, I can't hear you over the sound of my freedom," right? Or another one they got is a shirt that says, "Freedom was born in 1776." So a lot of these dumbass out here, they can't acknowledge the corruption done by their own government. Again, as long as it don't affect them, then they're good, right? As long as they can, go to work, get a paycheck, and go buy the bullshit food at these grocery stores and feed their family, they're content with that, right? They're content with just that. Again, they don't care who's in charge. They don't care their policies. All they care is if they can get up and go to work. Right. That's thinking like a slave right there. And that's how the average American thinks. Is gullible and simple minded. That's how a lot of these peons are out here. I think America is like some type of like the greatest country, but that's not true. America is a pathetic country. America is a very strict country. You're allowed to wear what you want, get any hairstyle you want. Sure, but that doesn't now change the fact that there are some clearly preposterous and oppressive regulations restricting people. Doesn't mean that. If people can't realize that, then just delusional. There's no other alternative. Freak said voting for Kamala. Hey, I don't vote in general, man. Right? I think all that's rigged. Right? It's not an election; it's a selection. And that's really what's going on. Right? There's a selection coming in a couple months. It's not a election; it's a selection. Now you could ask, um, out of the two, who do I think they're going to give it to? Like, who do I think they're going to give the election to, or who's going to win? I think they're probably going to give it to Trump. But again, nobody knows their plans, man. Right? Nobody knows the plans behind the scenes, right, of what they have, prepared for the masses of people. Shit, as far as we know, the whole world could go into another lockdown in this coming year due to this whole monkey thing. And I got to use code language here. But if anybody's been keeping up with global news, you should know what I'm talking about. Right? So, hell, who the hell knows, man? Right? The whole world could be another shutdown in very, short amount of time here. So at this point, man, we're just watching, day to day, man. They freaks, so that's like I vote. Nah, man. The vote and all that's rigged. Now, I don't know how somebody can be a truther and not know that. It's there so people have a illusion that they're getting a choice. It's easy to control people. And that's what they do, right? Give people a choice. Think they have a choice in the matter, right? A right to put their opinion out there. But behind the scenes, they're really the ones who are, controlling it. I think that's obvious. Bear with me for a second. Manny said, I haven't been keeping up with global news. Do you mind elaborating a little? I can. Here's the thing. I don't want to mention certain words, so it's going to get the video flagged. You get what I'm saying? Same thing with the Corolla thing. But we'll just, to keep it simple, there are, yeah, what you put down there. That's what I'm talking about. Right. There's like a new pestilence that's, people are getting, that sprung up within the last couple of weeks. And, I'll leave it there. That's what's going on now. So again, who the hell knows what's going to happen with that, man? It's anybody's guess at this point. Again, there's too much shit that's happening in the world right now. Oh, man. Somebody the other day asked me about about they like to watch like the debates I put on my channel, right? So I told them that I have a couple more I haven't reserved that I haven't uploaded yet. Like I'll give one example. A couple months ago, my first time I went on Q Butter's channel, we had a conversation. Like I mean, the very first time I went on there, before I had any clue about what that shit's all about. And I still have that one. I actually somehow I haven't uploaded that. I believe that happened like 6 months ago. Still have that. Yeah, that's a funny one. Like there was a dude on there. I believe this cat goes by the name of the Wolverine, right? And this goes back to what I said at the beginning of the video, right? Got a lot of people out here, or Q Brothers page that think they're like, as Shrek would say, right, the cream of the crop, right? They're like the top guy. So yeah, that dude on there, and this dumbass is like, well, I believe they went to the moon. Well, why do you believe that? This dummy said, well, I saw it on TV, right? So that proves that they went there, right? It proves it's real because it was on TV. It's like, wow, and this is like their hardest hitter, right? This is like their top guy. I mean, come on, you can't be serious, man. Right, dudes over there, they're like the cream of the crop of the black community. But yeah, they're over there making a damn fool out of themselves, their embarrassment. I mean, it's like, Christ, man. No, but again, people like that, you just take them for a laughing stock, basically, just there to make fun of and laugh at the end of the day. Oh, and another person asked, I'll address this as well. Somebody else asked where I find like these panels that I join on. Right, we'll see, like idiots on there making fools of themselves, right? People saying they're Jesus, and all that nonsense. There's somebody asked how I find these streams. It's really simple, actually. What you got to do is go to the YouTube search bar and then look up. You can look up a couple things. You could either look up StreamYard, Open Panel, Christian, and then you want to hit the live button so you see what's like currently going on right now, what pages are live. And not always, but sometimes you can find a decent amount of pages that you can join and have a conversation on. Now, typically, the best times for it would be either in the afternoon time or later at night. Like, say, for instance, like 12 or 1 in the morning, right? Or if you do it early, maybe about 6, 7, 8, right, at night. At least in my experience, those are the best results that you can find. It would be around that time frame. You know what I'm saying? Bear with me for a second. Man. I don't think I'm gonna go for much longer here. But yeah, I think everybody who stopped by this morning, they listened in. GTF. Hey, how you doing, man? It's been a while. Eh. No, I don't get to go out a lot, so it's always good to come out and get a little bit of fresh air. Well, I guess we could say so-called fresh. We all know, yeah, the chemicals are releasing from the skies, but I mean, shit, it's better air quality than sitting inside all day. You know what I'm saying? All right, folks, that being said, I'm going to close the stream up there. Thank everybody for stopping by.